You know, Marlene, you have borderline personality disorder. By definition, it's comorbid with psychosis and PTSD. You've got all the markers for surefire early on dementia, along with Alzheimer's, never mind the fact that technically you're psychotic, which means that you don't have any empathy and not much of a conscience. Therefore, you're able to get away with continually doing the actions and the same self-destructive behavior that you've been doing for years, which gets enabled by certain people in your life that don't want to see you get hurt and don't want to see you face the consequences of your actions. By definition, when I was done with Cheryl, I wanted to get my life on track, drink milk, do things that were better for my teeth and things of that nature. You curtailed all that, and you kept encouraging me to do the same self-destructive shit that you were doing. Pretty soon it's going to be hello fucking Grand Prairie, because you won't be able to stand the fact that all the people in church are going to be talking derogatorily about you, and yet you still, after various and sundry occasions of getting on the internet and calling me ugly in her name and utilizing other people to blackmail her to get her to do things that essentially she doesn't want to do, triangle sex trade, God knows what else. You have not only slipped down the hill, but you've fallen directly off the fucking mountain. You are a gross human being. And the more you get on here, the more you get in my face, the more I literally hope that Richard fucking smacks you. Because quite honestly, I'm getting really sick and tired of everybody enabling your behavior and you continually spitting on me and spitting it in my general direction. I can't tell you how much that pisses me off. And yet, you make these little hints like I'm supposed to still be loyal to you in any way, shape, or form. The only thing you used to do was find ways to control me or manipulate me. That's the only thing you've been instructing other people to do. And you used to literally read up on ways to try to control or manipulate me, and you're still trying to perpetuate the nasty lie that I'm dangerous. Anybody can be pushed to violence of action. If you push a person hard enough, I'll tell you a little story. There was a dog in Mississippi, and a guy wanted this dog to hurt black people, so he would hire a homeless black person on a constant basis to kick it. Finally, I think it was the 20th guy that got in there, 20th African American. This dog literally ripped his throat out, and ripped his face off. Now, as disgusting as you might find that dog had simply had enough of fucking being picked on and being abused and used. And there's been actions here that have no other explanation other than you simply being too chicken shit to pull the trigger yourself. And you continuously hurting me, or trying to hurt me, but failing miserably, reminds me an awful lot of somebody that, first of all, might be trying to instill some self-confidence, or maybe a teenager or a kid that got called a nasty name. Therefore, they are trying desperately to fire back at somebody else and not processing those emotions properly or regulating them as a well-functioning adult should. And you might say, why am I sending this out of the blue? Am I trying to start something or things of that nature? No, I've just come to the realization that after everything that you and I have been through in an inadvertent or advertent way together, that quite literally after all the things that have gone on, I don't feel bad for you in the least anymore. I used to kind of pity you, but that's all gone. And unless you have some sort of explanation that would lead me to a contrary explanation, I don't feel anything for you anymore. And that has been because for an extended period of time, you have also almost gloated in the sense that you have shut my life down to the point of my own detriment, where I am outside literally begging for change for fucking food. And then I have people making me deals on here saying the bills need to be paid, so you better get to bending over and things to that. How dare you? You know what kind of man I am and what kind of reaction I would have to an offer such as that. And all of this, the phone calls at Ravika's place and everything else, the dog and all the rest of that shit, can be linked to having you too close and too much of a big involvement in my life. And as much as you want to tell me something different, quite frankly, the bottom line here is the fact that you didn't like certain reactions that I had towards you. And you didn't like the fact that you thought that I was ungrateful. And the sad part about that is there is not a hope in hell that you have any sort of real world experience or real life experience, or that you have a singular fucking notion how tough this life can be. And what is capable of happening to anybody on any given fucking day for absolutely no reason other than somebody's either bored or you have something they want. And for you to make that comment to Jordan and for you to say to him that I needed to learn how real life went down, that is the biggest bullshit comment that I've ever heard. Because when it comes to your reality, either Richard, me, Milton, or your father take the brunt of that for you, or your older brother. You have never felt the brunt of your mistakes or the consequences for your actions, which is probably why you keep repeating them on a constant and consistent basis. And the only time that's ever going to change is if someone shows you the error of your ways by showing you what happens when you do the things that you do. Because you and people like you were spoiled growing up and have no actual conceptual idea of what can happen to people that pull the shit that you pull. And by the way, that's not a threat, but if you talk to other people, that's a fucking fact. And that's a statement, by the way, just so we're clear. And it's seriously got to the point where now, after I've literally fucking beat this shit all over again, do I get the chance to possibly live my life one more time at 43 years old after all that damage that I've taken to my fucking body? And you know, this isn't me threatening you, this isn't me cajoling you, this isn't me taunting you, this is me simply saying that after the extended period of time that I've had to deal with your ridicule and the rest of your crap, I realistically would not expect me coming around for any sort of family gathering, family dinner, or anything else ever again. And to rub salt in the wound that you picked, which was her, was probably the biggest mistake you could ever made in your whole entire fucking life. But that's you to a T, because you don't think, and you never have, and you never will. You just fucking, you act, and you do the thing that you've always done, because as I just said earlier, you have no idea the consequences of your actions because other people face the brunt of those for you. And protection, whatever else, this and that, it's all in fine, but you know what? Bottom line is this: at the end of the day, if you fix the leg that you broke, don't expect a big thank you. And there's no actual possible way that you can come up with anything concrete enough or concrete at all that would justify the actions of what's gone on for the past 10 years as somebody actually tried to fucking kill me twice. And your brother says I should forgive you. That is so far away from happening at this point in time and probably forever that I couldn't even tell you the point, the distance from point A to point B. So you take that for whatever you wish.